Welcome back once again, and starting our first topic that is concerning the killing of the 7 humanitarian workers in the World Central Kitchen convoy in Gaza that was shamefully detained by a number of European countries, among them UK, Australia and Canada. And again, they renewed their detention or detaining of this particular heinous act, the criminal killing and assassination of this international aid workers, just like they killed the innocent, armless Palestinian civilians inside the Gaza enclave. In a joint statement, the foreign ministries of those 3 countries, they spent more than 2 years pressing and calling for bringing to justice the rights of the souls of those 7 humanitarian workers, but in vain. Nothing was done by the Israeli occupation authorities and no investigation was raised. Very delighted to be having with us here live in the studio Dr. Hossam. Mostafa is an international relation commentator. He's going to give us his valuable input over this particular incident. Good morning, Dr. Hossam.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure to have you, sir. We're going to go over to that report and we'll come back with Dr. Hossam, so stay with us.
Australia, Canada and the United Kingdom have condemned Israel's decision not to pursue criminal investigations into the deadly 2024 strike on a World Central Kitchen WCK aid convoy in Gaza, calling the move shameful and demanding justice and accountability for the 7 humanitarian workers killed. In a joint statement issued by the 3 countries, foreign ministers, Australia, Canada and the United Kingdom, said the decision by the Israeli military on August 19th to close the case without providing further explanation was both too little and too late. The 3 governments said they had spent more than 2 years pressing Israel to conduct a swift and thorough investigation into the 1st of April 2024 attack and to hold those responsible to account. The Israeli strike killed 7 WCK humanitarian workers as they were delivering food to civilians in Gaza. Those killed included nationals of Australia and the United Kingdom, as well as a dual Canadian US national. At the time, the IDF described this incident as a serious mistake and failure, the statement said, referring to the Israel pre-occupation forces. In the more than 2 years since, we have been pressing for Israel to swiftly and thoroughly consider the case and hold those responsible to account, unquote. The governments particularly criticized the timing of Israel's announcement, which came on World Humanitarian Day, August 19th, when the international community was commemorating humanitarian workers and their work in conflict zones. Announcing this decision on World Humanitarian Day, while the world honored the courage and sacrifice of humanitarians, was particularly egregious. The 3 countries said the victims and their families deserve justice and accountability and pledged to continue seeking answers on their behalf. The April 2024 attack prompted widespread international condemnation and renewed scrutiny of the safety of humanitarian workers operating in Gaza. WCK said at the time that its convoy had been struck by an Israeli attack as its workers were unloading desperately needed aid delivered by sea. The organization said the convoy's movements have been coordinated with the Israeli military and that the vehicles were clearly marked with the charity's logo. Following the attack, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the strike as unintentional, while the Israeli military pledged to investigate the incident and share its findings.
Well, Welcome back once again. Very delighted to be having with us here live in the studio Dr. Hossam Mostafa, international relations commentator. Excuse me. Good morning, Dr. Hossam.
Good morning.
Overlooking or taking a flashback into that particular incident that took place in 2024, the assassination, the full cruel assassination of those 7 international aid workers who were delivering humanitarian aid in a kitchen, cooking kitchen to the innocent Palestinians, the women and children and the elderly. They were assassinated with them. Yes. In cold blood, but there was no investigation that was held. Australia, Canada and United Kingdom, they have described Israel's decision not to pursue the criminal investigation into a shameful act or a continuation of shameful activities taken on the occupation part. What specific accountability measures are they demanding in your own assessment?
According to the report you gave to us and according to your brief about this incident, as you mentioned, it was more than 2 years ago, but it comes now to the surface because the Israeli government tried to cover it up or to bury it actually by stating that there won't be any criminal investigation about this incident. The whole crew was assassinated, as you said, in a cold blood. These people are a humanitarian group who are trying to provide aid, assistance and food to these people in Gaza who are suffering from starvation, in addition to all such military crimes occurred almost all the time. For what's happening now, actually, the statement of the Israeli government came to kill any accusation or to try to cut the road for further investigation about that. What's actually happened, and it's ironically to find the accused person or the accused institution is investigating themselves. What's happening that the military institution in Israel, they made internal investigation, they admitted about the crime, and then after 2 years they announced that there won't be any criminal investigation or taking any procedures towards what's happened. They admitted there was a mistake, but the problem isn't to admit such a crime. The problem is the accountability itself and what's going after that.
But then you raised a very important point. They admitted there was a mistake. When I admit that there was a mistake in my system, I apologize. And there is a compensation, at least if there is no detention, nobody's going to be jailed or nobody's going to hold accountability. I mean, there is not going to be a scapegoat for this in my army who actually committed a crime. But then what exactly happened? What type of compensation?
Admitting the crime itself, it comes to calm the atmosphere after this incident.
So this is something in law? I admit that I committed a crime and then? Those are 7 souls.
It's supposed to be something more than admission itself. We have to know how it's happened, who did it, who is responsible for it, and how they are going to compensate, as you mentioned.
They are the only entity who can say that. But let me come in here and ask you another important question. If I'm admitting that I made a mistake, which is a little of a linear, much more lenient than taking into accountability or taking to court the criminals who did so. But then making a mistake means that I am justifying what I did. It's because they are in a zone, in a dangerous zone, and we have threatened that they should be evacuating this zone, and they did not evacuate. That's why we were firing at this particular zone. But we made prior alert, you should be evacuating this place. Probably they are preparing to provide such an explanation, such a scenario. Is it like that?
It's very interesting what comes in your question. The problem that this organization, according to the official statements, was already organized and arranged with the authorities in Israel, and they come to strike them suddenly after they have a clear, let us to say, a clear report about the nature of this organization and the path they are going to go through and their activities. We are talking about a humanitarian organization that's providing food for the starving people after all the crimes that Israel committed against our brothers and sisters in Palestine. But the problem here, you can say it's a pattern. This is what Israel all the time do. We commit an operational mistake. And then what? Nothing except letting it for the days and time. They think the people
they're going to pass on it, like
yes,
other crimes.
Because all the time they give us another new crime.
There are too many crimes to handle.
Yes,
that's
actually,
why you keep forgetting which is which. That's a good explanation. But then we stopped over this commitment of mistake. Considering it a mistake, I mean, labeling it as a mistake, which is going to be justified later on as those people were wrong because they were present at a certain zone while we have alerted the people to evacuate. And that's why they should be fired.
It's another big lie of Israel, because this organization, according to the statement of the official resources there in Israel, they arranged it with the authorities.
So there was a prior arrangement?
Yeah, of course.
And they fired them?
Yeah.
It's like punishing them for humanitarian work.
You lead me to talk about the hidden message that Israel is trying to send to all the people, especially the humanitarian organizations, regarding to, they want to scare the whole world.
The international community to step into Palestine.
Yes.
But it's sarcastic that what they did have evoked a new spirit worldwide.
Yes, actually.
To recognize Palestine and to urge them more and have more passion to help, stretch their hands, help.
Yeah.
Even the most, the most people with the thickest mind or the most ignorant people, they recognize the importance of stretching their hands.
Actually, let us just say they rise the bar to an extent that no one can move his eyes away from what is happening. You find
they did a favor to the Palestinians
because they did too much. They committed crimes that nobody, no human being can keep silent against it.
Exactly.
And that's why we find such reactions all over the world, even in such countries and states that used to support Israel for a long time.
Like the United Kingdom.
Yes. And also
and even Jews, not Zionists, Jews in New York have also detained. But then, to what extent does Israel's decision would undermine? That's a very, that's a question that is already answered. If you like me to pass on it, let me pass on it and then move on to the third question, which is, what would constitute a credible and genuinely independent investigation into that particular strike, and who should be responsible or paying for it, from your own assessment or from the assessment of the international law?
If we are talking about the mistake itself, of course, the guilt on the shoulder of the Israeli military forces. But if we are talking about a separate, independent investigation regarding to that, many organizations can be involved in it. The United Nations can be involved, also humanitarian organizations and the countries of these victims.
What is in the hand of those countries? I was going to ask the questions.
Yeah, according to some of these countries, they have some laws, legislations that can help to raise some lawsuits against what's happened.
The Hague, International Criminal Justice.
And
They
even,
already have a sentence.
and even in their domestic laws, some countries like UK, according to their laws, they can handle such.
It could be applied in another
yes,
country?
Yeah, and they can get.
Should be an international court.
In order to have the international decision or investigation about this, it's very complicated. But as I told you, and it's already
Can
stated.
I apply a court sentence over
Yes.
someone who is not in my country?
Yeah, and
But on my law?
yeah, and this is what's happened in USA regarding to Netanyahu. They have a court decision about his crimes.
No, it was issued from the Hague, from International
And even the
Criminal
courts itself and the country can raise such a suit.
So, could the failure of bringing to justice such heinous acts like that try to scare off the help of humanitarian aid communities and international community to stretch their hands? Like we were talking about this.
Yes.
Do you think this have probably lessened or impacted a relapse in the activities of international community inside the Gaza Strip?
Let's just say the opposite. What's happened? Actually, it's
in spite,
emerging.
even with the killings?
Yeah. Many organizations insisted to complete its effort to send the message: we are not fear from what's happening. We can sacrifice our lives for such a humanitarian process and message. And this is what kept Israel all the time giving more and sudden crimes to cover up of the previous crimes that it committed by its military. But I guess this will stop the humanitarian activities or aids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then, of course it won't stop, but they are not covering up. They are admitting it with pride.
Yeah, and I told you they are trying to give us a pattern. Okay, we commit the crime, we admit it. We may be sorry, but they aren't talking about the accountability itself, who is responsible and how he should be, I'm not saying punished, but at least to pay for these crimes.
Of course, no international criticisms could put them under pressure, because we have tried that how many times. No international community is going to stop their crimes against humanity and genocidal acts and everything. But then the first thing, it's for the first time in this particular issue of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the recognition of more than 150 countries of a Palestinian state.
That's great.
Is really scaring Israel, and also threatening the chances of Benjamin Netanyahu into introducing himself to the Israeli citizens as the only savior for their safety inside Israel and all that, inside the Palestinian territories, and maintaining land inside there, especially that they are approaching elections. So the reason I'm asking that question is that because I am pointing out to the, waving the flags of elections might raise some tension for the occupation forces and the government of Benjamin Netanyahu to try to step back a little bit and reconsider things.
Actually, Netanyahu is under a great pressure in this period. because of all what's happening around us, the Iranian war and what's happening in Gaza. Fortunately, although it comes on the cost of the blood of the people in Palestine, but now the whole world is asking what's happening and what's happened before that. Such a wave comes with great criticism. We now witness something that we didn't see before, to find, as you said, even the Jews themselves are criticizing what's happening, all these crimes, the genocide, and the mass killing there. All this comes at the pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu government, because the people in Israel doesn't feel the safety and security he promised them. They found themselves all the time get reactions, because what the Palestinian people, as the reality itself proves, it comes as a reaction, not an action. It didn't come as an attack from the Palestinian people. It comes as, let's just say, a hopeless try to prove they can resist and they are struggling. But
an act of defense.
Of course.
Because according to the 1948 laws, it is their land.
Yeah. This is something that the Israeli government, through decades, tried to change the image. And at a sudden, everything is exposed. And the people knows what is happening there in Palestine, especially what's happening in Gaza. They saw everything, even and all, instead of this propaganda that the Zionist organization tried to shade, but the people discovered the reality. Who can imagine that you can find demonstrations, criticism all over the world, that criticizing what's happening daily in Israel? That's something that we didn't even expect one day, but it happened, and it's going to change the equation.
It is going to change the equation with having in the scene now the other political rivals for Benjamin Netanyahu, another political wing, totally new, fresh image, and new promises, probably new political opportunities for the citizens. How is that going to affect change?
Let us not to be very optimistic with that.
Why?
Yeah, because they have the same dictatorial.
We always have to live. I mean, to live with optimism.
Yeah, the optimism that Palestine is going to be free one day, and the Palestinian people are going to get their rights. We are believing in that, but to find such a government and authority in Israel that's working for this hope, no, and it won't happen. Even those people who are trying to introduce themselves as a peacemaker, or that they are going to correct the mistakes of Netanyahu's government, no, it's just a change of the figures itself, but the mentality and their main goals.
The institution is the same.
Yeah.
But for every political wing or political camp or whatever, there are difference in policies, in approaches, in handling political visions. There is the conservative one. There are the radical people.
Yes.
There are the ones who are open to new ideas. They're keeping their own values and principles. So.
Let's say the peace maker wing, even who are trying to introduce themselves to us like a peacemakers, they came from the same roots.
From the same school.
The same school. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time, but if we stop here, we could only cross our fingers to pray for our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and also the Lebanese people in southern Lebanon, people
Yes,
in
sure,
Syria.
definitely.
And may God really maintain peace and prosperity over the all Arab region.
We pray for that.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, Dr. Hossam Mostafa. You are international relations commentator. Thank you so much for coming
You are
over
more
to
than welcome.
Good Morning Egypt.
It was a pleasure.
You have a good day. And we're going to go to a short break and also bringing you the press digest and our other segments. Ghada Samuddin is going to be on with the second interview, so make sure that you join her.